Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another live Outdoors with Dunks. Today we are located in the Pacific Northwest, right next to the ocean. We got one simple task, and that is to look for Dungeness crabs. We're looking for, Dungeness crabs. They're delicious. A couple things you're going to need. As you notice, drip check. I got the waders on today. You're also going to need a couple items. You're going to need a rake. You're going to need a bucket. We took the e-bike today because we're trying to stay mobile. These are tide pools. Pretty clear. We got low tide. And hey, look what I found right there. Tide pool number 1. So yeah, this is a Dungeness crab. We're gonna go ahead and scoop that guy up. We're gonna flip it over and we're gonna identify it. What I'm looking at right here is this part. This part is the, let's call it genitalia. And this is a female crab. In Washington State, it's illegal to keep female crab. So we're gonna put her back so she can go and make lots of babies. So we're gonna come over to our bike. We're gonna grab our little tool here. We got just a rake. And a lot of times, these crabs hang out just below the surface. And so what you want to do is kind of just rake around in these tide pools. And eventually, you'll find one. A lot of times they're just floating on the top like that last female was. Hey, shout out to the chat. Good morning, everybody. Cloudy day out here in the Pacific Northwest, and we are looking for Dungeness crabs. The easiest way to do that is to just take your rake these tide pools. These ones are pretty shallow. We already found one female, but we're looking. They're typically just right on the top. The rules and regulations for Washington State is you have to have a male crab 6 inches in length, and you can only keep 2 of them. Hey, good morning, Rusty. Shout out to the 5 people. Hope everybody's having a good day. We already found one crab, but she was female, so we had to put her back. You know, raking is a very slow way to do this. Right here, guys. See it? You can see it right there. And this is what you're doing. You're just walking around, looking in tide pools. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your rake, go underneath it. Oh, he's a big boy. I think we found a keeper. Yeah, male. And I know he's 6 inches. So that's one. That's one for the bucket. These guys are feisty. Yeah, see, he wants to rip off my fingers. All right, that's a good freaking start. Yeah, 6 inch. I know he's 6 inches. I'll measure him. But that's one crab. That's breakfast, boys. So we're gonna go put him back in the bucket. Crabs in a bucket. And you can identify them by their genitalia, right where my thumb is. This guy is an older male. You can tell he's got barnacles on him. We'll put him in the bucket. If it was a little hotter, I'd put water in the bucket, but one crab, I mean, fantastic. I mean, we're off to a good start. One female, one crab, been live for 5 minutes. This is like record, because normally you're out here for hours and you're not catching shit. So just that one crab is pretty much the highlight of my day. These are Dungeness crabs, and they're absolutely delicious. A little bit of butter, whole lot of butter, a little bit of garlic, and they're absolutely delicious. That guy was just hanging out, just right on the surface. Oh man, feeling good, got some good energy going. Let's see if we can't get another one. Hey, God of Game, Bunger Pain, yo, good morning to everybody. Out here looking for crabs, live in the Pacific Northwest. We already got one in the barrel, looking for another one. That was great. And this isn't rocket science. You just kind of rake around. A lot of times they're just on top, so I mean, just covering ground, looking for them. These tide pools can get deep, but the ones I'm in currently at, what I'll do is I'll come up to an area and rake the deeper part, because a lot of times they're just below the surface and you can't see them. That last one we picked up was right on top, and it can go either way. Sometimes they're just right on top and you see them. Other times you got to kind of dig for them. Hey, shout out to the 16 people up in here. I think that's an Irene flag. Man, I wish I had a moderator in here. Hey, let's try not to spam the chat. I mean, I don't care, I guess. Do what you want to do, right? But, yeah, hopefully, Brett, I saw you. Yeah, hopefully I can get a few more. My limit on these is, I think we got something here. I don't know. They might just be old shells. Looks like they are just old shells, which happens. But old shells look a lot like live crabs, so. One down, 5 to go. Limit for these is 5 per day, or 6 per day when you're doing it this way. And hey, you're all right, man. If that's where you're from and you're proud of it, man, be proud of it. Since I can't see bottom here, the best thing to do is just drag your claw and you'll feel them. You'll feel them hit the rake. It feels like a little rock, or, I mean, tink, you'll hear it. They typically make a noise. So this tide pool is kind of coming to an end. We'll work our way back. We might hop onto the bike, head north. Here's the overall view. I mean, we're in a tide pool. That's the ocean. Nothing wrong with being an Indian, man. Be proud of where you came from. Hey, shout out to all the lurkers. Hopefully, we're just trying to, the key to this is just cover ground, right? You don't want to get bogged down. A lot of times they're on the top. That foam there is like, ew, bro, is that sewage? And the answer is no, they're diatoms. Uh-oh. Starting to sound like a Nat Geo. But diatoms are just a fancy word for like algae. And a lot of different animals really enjoy that. We got something here. I don't know what it looks like. That's a big old rock. Rock in the ocean. Not quite what we're going for. All right, we're getting a little bit far from our vehicle. I'd say we head back. Here's the thing, where I'm at is pretty remote, but I want to be more remote. I'm in competition with a lot of people out here trying to do the same thing. Everybody wants free crab for breakfast. So we're gonna move just a quarter mile down the beach. I'll show you guys the one I got earlier. It is. All right, so when I look for tide pools, here's the thing about Dungeness crabs. They can be absolutely anywhere, right? I just pulled one out of this little tide pool. But what I like is a little bit of a larger, deeper tide pool. But like I said, they could be anywhere. So the plan here is to just cover some ground. We're gonna hop on the bike, head north. A lot of where I'm headed, you can't get to by truck because they don't allow you to drive out here where I'm currently at. So this is our steed for the day. There's a crab right there. One, I think it's undersized. It's probably of size, but you can't. All right. This area here is the genitalia. And this is wide, meaning it's a female. In Washington State, you can't take females. So we're gonna let this girl go. Go on. Go make some babies. But this is the one we got earlier. And he angry. Oh, hey. Come here. Well, this is the guy we got earlier, and you can tell he's a male. When you look at the genitalia, it sounds gross, but it is what it is. This part is wider, comes out to a protrude, looks like a male appendix. And in Washington, they got to be 6 inches across from point to point. So from here to there, I might need to measure this guy. So from that point to the other point, sorry, trying to hold you guys and measure a crab. So from this point across the back has got to be 6 inches. And as you can see, we're clearing that with ease. He's a keeper, and he's actually way over keeper size. So we're gonna throw the. You can tell his claws are different size. This is his main claw here. It looks like he lost a claw. It's grown back, but it's a lot smaller. But first keeper crab of the day. Let's get him in the bucket. If it was a little warmer, I'd put some water in that bucket. But let's head down to the next spot. God of Game. No, man. No super chats. No crazy stickers. No memberships. No cyber begging on my channel whatsoever. I'm out here doing what I love to do, and I appreciate everybody just tagging along, man. This is my hobby. This is what I enjoy doing. Just being here is support enough, to be honest. No super chats, no memberships, no stupid stickers, no fucking goal criterias. Just outdoor content. Probably a little too much nose hair, but thanks for everybody for tagging along. This spot's raked out. Let's move north. Sorry for the wind. I'm doing the best I can with what I got. Go west, young man. Haven't you been told California's full of whiskey? Sorry about the POV. Give it a second. The view will get a little better. All right. Sorry, the camera's gonna suck for the next, I don't know, 10 seconds or so. Maybe 20. My little tripod doesn't want to be tripoding. Alright, so our plan is to just move to a new spot. 20 people. Shout out to you. I'll try to give you the best, I don't know, view possible where it's not. There we go. That's the best I can do. It's going to be a little bit boring until we find our new spot. We'll just be cruising along the beach probably 20, 30 miles an hour. So what I'm doing is just looking for big old tide pools. And I like deep ones. And if they can connect to the ocean, that'll be even better. And if there's no people, that's even better. If you guys are wondering where we're at, we're in the Pacific Northwest. This is the longest drivable beach in the entire world. That should give you a pretty good hint. We're kind of at peak tourist season. We're coming up now to where we should start getting less people, because you can't drive motor vehicles here. This is the last part of the beach where you can drive. We're gonna there's a little tide pool here. We're gonna check this out. I don't think we're gonna stop and rake. A lot of times you can just see them. They're just right on the top. So what I'll do is kind of a drive-by on these tide pools and see what I can see. Looks like there's a pretty big one just off to our right here. Just kidding, you're right, not mine. This looks like a pretty good one. I like them when they can connect to the ocean. I don't know if that makes a difference or not, but it's just a preference. That one looks pretty deep there. We do have our waders on. This looks like a pretty good spot. Let's dig around here and see what we can't catch. If you're just getting here, thanks for hanging out. Hope everybody's having a great day. We got one crab in the bucket already. Looking for more. And this ain't rocket science. What you do is you just, if it's a little shallower, you don't have to even rake. You can just look at them. You can see them. But a lot of times, they hide just below the surface. And we're in, I don't know, knee deep. And I'm only 4'1", so what I'll do is when I'm walking, I'll just drag the rake behind me. Or if I see a deeper pool, I'll rake it. But you don't want to get bogged down, right? You don't want to just stay in one spot. You kind of want to be, oh boy. We got neoprene waders on today. And if you're wondering about the current water temperature, it is 46 degrees. No, 52. I lied. Sorry to... What you're doing is you're just kind of looking for things. I think that's a sand dollar. Nope, that was a shell. So what I'll typically do is just drag the rake behind me and just keep an eye out, you know? You don't want to get too bogged down. You start raking around too much, you're gonna not cover a lot of area. The key to this is just looking. If you see a little deeper spot, go ahead and rake it out. But a lot of times they're just right on the top. They're up, they're mobile, they're swimming. So if you spend too much time raking around, you just kind of get bogged down in the action. Sorry to sound like a YouTuber, but if you guys want to hit that like button, it would be fantastic. Only if you like it. If you don't like it, no pressure. So what I'm gonna do is just keep working the edge. We don't have much time left. The tide's actually coming in. So we're gonna just keep working the edge, seeing what you can't find or can find. And this is just how it goes. A lot of times you'll just be walking around, enjoying nature, being outside, and all of a sudden you'll just find one. You'll just find a crab and then you'll have breakfast. Yeah, you can see the water starting to push back in already. Low tide isn't, see, all right, this is what you're looking for. Are you guys excited? I'm excited. It might just be a shell. Damn it. But this is what you're looking for. I lied, that's not what you're looking for, but you get the idea. A lot of times, they're just hanging out in these little tide pools. You walk up, you hit it with your rake, and you got yourself breakfast. This isn't what we're looking for, but if you don't live on the coast, they're kind of neat. Oh, and that one's alive, so we're gonna put him back. This, my friends, is a sand dollar. This is a, I don't know. I don't know what it is. We call them sand dollars. And you can tell this one's still alive by his purple color. you're like, that's rude, put it back. I absolutely will. But pretty cool little find. Back you go, little buddy. I would eat you, but you're not very delicious. On a completely different related note, we're out here. These right here are razor clams. If I were to dig right here, I would pull out a Washington State razor clam. I can't do that right now because of the game warden, I guess. But Washington State clams, if you're interested in that and you got some time later and you want to check out, ooh, what do we got? What do we got? Just a shell. You know, these crabs molt, which means they shed their shells this time of year. And they, so you get shells, lots of shells, really. We're gonna work this, damn, there's a lot of people here today. We might head more north. This tide pool continues for a couple miles that way, but what I'm gonna do is work the other bank down this way. Ocean's there to the right, and we're going to eventually hop back on the bike and move. But I want to do a pretty good job. I want to cover this. It's a pretty wide area. I mean, you're talking, I don't know, 50 yards from that corner over to where our bike is parked. And I just want to walk this edge. A lot of times it's really deep in the middle, and I didn't bring scuba gear because, well, I don't own scuba gear, to be honest. Wind's starting to pick up. My poor little mic, hopefully it's not too blown out. But it makes it difficult. You can't really see into the water. So what you're gonna do is, yeah, I know you guys can't see it, but this is my claw, and I'm just dragging that behind me, looking for deep pools. We're, I don't know, 2-3 feet of water at the moment. We got other people out here doing the same thing we're trying to do. Oh, getting a little deep. We're probably, I don't know, 3 foot of water, about up to my waist. I think we're gonna head on the bike. We're gonna move to a new hole. And I'm not saying there's not crabs in here. I'm just saying I'm not gonna be able to see them. And unless I'm gonna rake out a 4-acre tide pool by hand. Oh boy, getting a little deep now though. I should have brought a trap. A lot of times I bring a trap with me, and I'll throw it out into these deeper tide pools and let it sit for an hour or two. And that really helps. I'm gonna hop on the bike. I got some people coming up, and I don't really want to put them on camera or explain to them why I'm talking to myself. Joys of being a wannabe content creator. Gotta say hi to this little corgi. Come here, buddy. Hi. Come here. Morning. Hi, buddy. I know, I'm so scary. You guys just out looking for stuff? Yeah. This is what I'm looking for.
Oh, nice.
A little bit of dinner. Yeah, man, you can see it. It won't hurt you. This is a male Dungeness crab. And in Washington, You can take 6 a day off the beach as long as they're over 6 inches long. And you can tell this guy's been in a fight because he lost. See how this claw is shorter and this one's a lot bigger? That means he lost his claw at some time. And you can tell he's a little bit older too because he's got barnacles on him.
It's a pretty cool adaptation, huh?
Yeah, when they lose a claw in a fight or whatever, they have the natural ability to regenerate it, which is kind of neat.
Awesome. Well, it looks great. I hope you're enjoying your photo, man.
I hope so too. Thanks. You guys enjoy your trip and your time out. Hey, sorry about that, Chad. It's tourist season. Crossing little streams, working our way north. We'll see less and less people as we head north. There's a small little tide pool. You know, this one's a lot further up. But there's no reason why there can't be crab. We're just gonna briefly kind of scroll through here. A lot of times they'll hang out. Let's walk through. Oh man, trying to just cover as much space as possible. John Bolton, I am sorry if I'm a little bit late. I am out here in the Pacific Northwest, man. I am on the, wow, big old bald eagle. You guys see it? Yeah. Come on. Whoa, that's a little close. That's a little better. I'm out here on the Washington State coast, looking for Dungeness crabs. It's currently low tide, and Dungeness crabs are delicious. This is one of my favorite ways to do it. All you got to do is walk out and look around the tide pools. If you're just getting here, you haven't seen what we got, but I'll show you. This is the quest. This is what we're after. This is a male Washington State Dungeness crab. Delicious. And I can get 6 of them. The odds of getting 6 are relatively low. If I would have brought my trap and set a pot out for a couple hours, my odds would have increased. But right now, I'm just trying to pick up a few strays in these small tide pools. And sorry, I'm trying to, I'm not a fancy YouTuber. I don't have me a chest mount. So what you do is you just look around. That's the key to all of this. A lot of times they're hanging out just below the surface. So if I find a really deep tide pool, I will just kind of rake it. We're in pretty shallow now, so I'm just gonna do a quick walkthrough. Okay, here we go. We got something. Too little, but I mean, that's what we're looking for. That's a Dungeness crab. It's a bit small, so we're gonna give it a toss back. Go ahead and grow up, buddy. In the area where I live, it's got to be 6 inches or more. If you guys got any questions, don't be afraid to ask. If you guys are just lurking and want me to shut up, go ahead and say that too. Got something here, it looks like it's just a shell though. Yeah, they molt, they drop their shells. A lot of times, like you see the water flow through here, that creates a little brim or bank or whatever you want to call it, and I'll always rake that edge. There's usually 2 sets, and we got a really far minus tide. That's the ocean, about, I don't know, 200 yards. Sorry about that, phone calls. So what we gotta do is keep just doing what we're doing. I'm gonna pick up the pace a little bit. We're, like I was saying about the tide, is, we got a pretty big one. Oh, we got something here. I don't know what it is. I know what it is, but I don't know if it's male or female. Let's flip her over. And how to sext these, not like sext like that thing you did, but this is a female. Her abdomen is wide. If she was male, it would be a lot narrower, but this is a female crab. We're gonna let her go, and hopefully she makes lots of babies. So we are finding crabs, just not not the right size, not the legal edible kind. All right, we are gonna work our way back to the bike, and what do we got here? Wind coming out of the south today. Sorry, I'm doing the best to block my mic I can, but anytime you're out at the coast, it's always interesting situation. We're gonna continue north. The further north I get, the less access to people there are. Virgin water. To be honest, not a lot of people get up this way. You can't drive a car up here, so that really limits where people are and what they can do. All right, we're back at the bike. I'm gonna get loaded up. If you're just getting here, this is what we got. This is what we're doing. Male Dungeness crab. I'll give this guy a pat. I need to put some water in my bucket. I just haven't done it yet because last thing you want to do is kill the crab, and they can survive a long time out of the water. So back in the bucket he goes. We're gonna head north a little. See if we can't find a little better of a tide pool. We worked this one here over pretty well, so let's keep heading north until we find something. Got 3 crabs out of that hole already, which is pretty good. They were no, it's not. It's terrible. 3 crabs, but they were all female and undersized. So we'll just head down the beach a little. Not cruising very fast, just kind of puttering along, looking for holes. Hey, shout out to everybody in here. Not to sound like a YouTuber, but if you want to hit that like button, only if you like outdoor content. And to be honest, you being here is a YouTube first. Out of all of the entire history of YouTube, nobody has ever done a live while looking for Dungeness crabs. Never been done. Just you, me, happening right here, right now. There's a little tide pool here. I don't know if it's worth getting off and looking. And always, right? Not very, I mean, surprisingly deep. This little thing here is probably, I don't know. I'm hoping I don't get rained on, but it feels like I might. Oh no, this one's probably, it's not very wide. It doesn't have to be. They're just hanging out. So all you gotta do, rake that bottom, you know? A lot of brown algae, which means there's a lot of good food and a lot of bad smells. We're not going to spend too much time on this hole. It's pretty small. I just wanted to, you can tell it's deep though. It's probably, I don't know, 3-4 foot deep, which means if there's any crabs in the area, they're likely in this hole. Oh, we hit something there. A rock. We hit a rock and a clamshell. Not quite the vibe I'm going for. All right. Oh boy. What happened here is we got into some soft sand. Our kickstand sank in the soft sand, so we're gonna have to move the bike a little. We're gonna have to pick up our crab. I think we're gonna have to put a little bit of water in our bucket. Struggling with our, we got a little, I don't know what you want to call it, climber clip. Let's get some water in our bucket, get our bucket rinsed out. You're like, damn, bro, that's a dirty bucket. It is. We don't need much. Here's our crab that we got. He's a keeper. But he needs to be in a little bit of water. It'll make his life a lot happier. So there we go. Got our crab. A little bit of water. Let's get him back on the bike. Yeah, problem with that is my kickstand, soft sand, bike wants to flop over. When I'm this close to the surf, it's hard to find some hardpack. This is what we got. Male Dungeness crab. Hey, Rusty, man, I appreciate you hanging out. I appreciate everybody hanging out. Hopefully we can find some more crabs. That's the plan. We're gonna kind of side saddle the bike, hit up a new hole. That way we can just continue to cover some more water. Crossing a little stream here. there's a pretty big tide pool right in front of me here. And nobody within sight. So this will be a pretty good stretch. I think what we'll do is park. And I'm just going to cover the edges. All right, our guy, the one we got, is already a lot happier. He's got some water. You got to keep these things alive. If they die and then you cook them, you die. So, keeping them alive. This is going to be a little harder hole to dig. There's quite a bit of flow coming in. We're still connected to the ocean at the far end, but we're just gonna walk around and see what we can't find. Problem is, when you have this much flow, they get buried pretty quick. So I'm gonna try to look just in the smaller tide pools here and just see what we can't find. You know, a lot of this is just covering ground. You're just... Now, don't get me wrong. You're going to find more crabs if you stop and you rake out every hole, because a lot of times they're hiding just right underneath the surface. But it's really time consuming. So it's kind of hit or miss, you know? So what I'll do is I'll just work the bank. I'll drag my rake behind me. And if I feel something, I'll rake that area. But a lot of times, I like to just be mobile. I like to just keep moving. And all of a sudden, you'll just pop up and boom, there'll be a crab. So and there's crabs. I mean, I know there's crabs in here. You can see the sandbar on the other side. Tide's starting to come in. This is a deep channel that runs through probably, I don't know, maybe 6 foot deep in the deepest spot. I'm hoping that first crab I found isn't the only one. So when the wind picks up, there gets a little chop on the water, makes it hard to see in. This is relatively shallow where we're at now, though. I'm gonna finish working this bank, and then I'm going to cross over onto the sandbar and work that bank as well. A lot of times they're hanging out right on the edge. And I'm not saying they're not out in the middle. I'm just saying they're a lot harder to get and to see when they're out in the middle. And with anything, the clock is ticking. Beautiful day though, you know. And you're like, man, it's 90 degrees, Unc. It's July where I live. It's 53. I think we're supposed to have a high of 60. Water temp is about that. So we're out on the sandbar now. That's the Pacific Ocean, just off the coast of Washington. Pretty small swells today, maybe 4 to 6 feet. We're just gonna work this bank. So you can see the ocean's there where Maybe. Sorry, we're sinking a little. There's the ocean. Here's a pretty big tide pool, maybe, I don't know, 25, 50 yards across. And we're just gonna keep raking and looking and seeing if we can't find us some crabs. I know you guys can't see it, but I'm just dragging the claw behind me. Oh, shout out to everybody in chat, to be honest with you. It is, sorry about that phone call. Man, that was caught me off my game. Sorry, I forgot what I was doing for a second. I'm just gonna work this. I think the goal for this, well, I don't really have a goal. One is to catch 5 more crabs, but 2, to cover, this isn't as deep as I thought. I thought this was closer to 4 feet, but we're, I don't know, maybe 2 at best. We're dragging our claw behind us, looking. Looking for crabs. I think we'd have better luck at a, no, I don't know. I mean, there might be kids in here. If the comment section wants to go ahead and make a joke about crabs and a better spot to acquire them, I'll leave that up to your guys' discretion. Where do you think is the best spot to get crabs? Wrong answers only. Let me know in the chat. All right, since we got, I think we got this spot pretty big. I mean, you can see the waves starting to break over the sandbar. We're losing time. I want to check a couple more spots before there ain't a couple more spots left to check. Tide's starting to push in. Low was about, I don't know, 30 minutes ago, maybe an hour. But if you're just getting here, this is what we're doing. Riding our trusty steed down the beach, looking for Dungeness crabs. This guy, we can call him Mr. Krabs. But this is what we got. Hey, sorry about that. Technical error. This is what we got. This is a live Dungeness crab. And we'll put him back in there. Try to keep him cool. Put him in there, we'll try to keep him cool. We just got done exploring this tide chart. We're gonna head north and see if we can't find some more. Go west, young man. Haven't you been told California's full of whiskey, women, and gold? No? We ain't prime country fans? I think we already covered this. We already covered that little spot to our left, right, whatever direction. I don't know. I can't see what you guys are doing. I'm not seeing too many. All right. We're seeing one. We'll go check it out. It's probably a quarter mile up the beach. What's good about being this far is we're not going to run into a lot of people. There's probably about 2 people for as far as the eye can see. Ooh. You ever get a vibe? You ever get like a little feeling? Like, check this out. We'll pull up on it. Well, one, there's a huge ditch there that I'm not really overly looking forward to riding through, so we might just drive around it. What the hell? It's not like e-bikes aren't designed for salt water, right? I'm gonna check out this hole. All right, well, this makes me feel like I might be a little late to the party. You can't drive a car up here, but you can drive an e-bike. And this right here isn't mine. That right there isn't mine, which means somebody else might have already scoped this hole. But it looks too good. It looks too good not to. It's about the right size. Got some good depth to it. Let's just rake around in here. See what we can't get. We're deep. We're probably 3-4 foot of water right now. I'd like to thank everyone in here for being part of YouTube's first ever Dungeness crab live dig. Kind of just working the bank, seeing what we can find. A lot of times they're up in little shallows, hanging out on the banks. So I like to just lightly rake around. Wind's causing a little bit of chop on the water. But today is mild in the world of the we might have something here. Yeah, no, we got, that was just a little shell. Mild breeze of probably about 20 miles an hour. But that ain't too bad. That's a razor clam shell. Not very exciting, but everybody's got their song, you know, here, fishy, fishy, fishy. And my question is, do shellfish count as fish? Probably not, huh? There's a pretty deep hole right here. You can see it's, I don't know, maybe 2-3 feet. And then right here is about 2 or 3 inches. So there's a big pool here, and what I like to do is I like to rake the bank. A lot of times they'll just be hanging out on the bank. Oh, jellyfish. I don't know if you guys can see him. Yeah, there he is. Oh, jelly action. We'll put him back, don't worry. Little jellyfish. Hard to see because he's clear. Back you go, little fella. Man, this is turning into quite the adventure. We found a sand dollar earlier. We found one crab. Well, we found a couple crabs, but only one keeper. And this is a hard way to do this, to be honest. The commercial season is still open. So we got massive boats that don't have catch limits currently working about 10 miles off the coast. So we're just little guys. We're just little guys looking for some breakfast. Yeah, these bike tracks. The only way to get up here is to do what I'm doing, and that's use an e-bike or a manual bike. But somebody's been here. Which kind of hurts my feelings. Just when you think you're alone. I think we're gonna... I don't know. I don't think we're going to go get the bike. I think we're going to walk over. There's a couple more tide pools here, and then there's one big one just off to our left. Hopefully everybody's having a great time. Tell you what, these neoprene waders are great when I'm in the surf because the water temps are so cold. But when I'm just walking around, that neoprene gets a little warm. This kind of goes out and connects. There's a little stream, and then it runs out into a bigger tide pool. Just there. Sorry, I got the camera that focuses automatically. But I'm going to work this down out towards the ocean itself. And then hopefully man, I'd settle for a female just to boost my morale. Caught one the first 5 minutes I was out and failing to overly connect. But you know what? Sometimes it's just about being outside in the weather. We might got something here. It looks like it's just a what the hell is that? Oh, it's like a rock. No, that's what we're looking for. Yeah. There are so many barnacles on this crusty guy. Look at this. I thought it was a rock. But look at the barnacles on this old gal. And she's a female, so she'll go back. And I'll tell you how you can tell they're a female. This is the identification area. And since it's wide... All right, well, you know, you ask for a little morale boost, and here she is. Look at this. I mean, this girl's probably 20, 30 years old. So many barnacles, I can't even see her eyes anymore. We're going to put her back, though. We ain't going to mess with her. Back you go, little lady. That just goes to show you never know what you're going to find. She's gonna go back. She's gonna make lots of babies for us. We're gonna continue to look and hopefully find another one. Find her husband. Can't eat the mom, but we'll eat the dad. That was great. You know, I was walking along, and all of a sudden, boom! There's a crab. This part's pretty shallow here. It kind of just trickles down into a larger tide pool. Not expecting, it just kind of dies. It streams to nowhere, right? Kind of fizzles out, but there's a lot more little tide pools coming up. And hopefully we can find something. I like to be as remote as possible, and I am pretty remote, but there's some e-bike tracks here that aren't mine, which means somebody was looking. But a lot of times they'll just ride by and they don't actually look hard. Water's starting to come in. This is a big sandbar. What happens is the tide shifts, water flushes in. It'll eventually run over the top of that bar there. But once that water starts flowing real hard, it makes it a lot trickier to try to find the crabs. They tend to hunker down a little bit more. So we'll just work this bank. We'll come up, we'll work the outer bank. Got one. Don't know if he's male, female, or indifferent. Yeah, another little female. Again, you can tell it's female that way. She's not too old. She's little. She must have just molted. But we're gonna get her back. We're gonna let her grow up, make lots of babies for us. She's off. She's back. She's gonna go repopulate the crab population single-handedly. One female can lay about 40,000 eggs. So that's neat. Makes her sound like some kind of weird alien species, huh? 40,000 eggs. You know what's silly? I love these little streams. I know it sounds weird, but like you used to do when you were a kid, and it's equally as fun when you're like a grown-up, right? Digging these little, something uniquely satisfying about connecting one body of water to the other. Man, this would be a great place. We're out of season, but I mean, since I got you guys here, this is a razor clam hole. That's a razor clam hole. That up there is a razor clam, razor clam, razor clam. And if it wasn't the wrong kind of season, if I dug with a razor clam gun, this little area right here, there would be for sure a Pacific Northwest razor clam there. And I mean, they're everywhere. Every time you see those holes, like that one, that one, that one there, this is a big one. Those are razor clams. Washington State Pacific Northwest razor clams. And they're delicious. And if you're into like lives, I dug them live. And if you go check that out on the channel, which I know most of you won't, that's fine. We're cruising. We're trying to cover some ground here. Working this edge. Looks like this is fed into another stream. Normally I'm raking around a lot more than I am particularly, but our time is getting pretty limited, so we're food it. Shout out to you, man. Hope everybody's having a great Saturday. Hey, hey, hey. Do you guys see it? I see it. Do you see it? We don't want it because it's too little. But this is kind of what we're looking for, and you can tell this one just went through a molt, and it's a female. You can tell by this area right here on the thumb, and you can tell it just molted because the color's off. See how bright these legs typically are? Normally, when they're a little bit older, those legs turn a darker, much darker purple color. But this is what we're looking for. We're just looking for her husband and a little bigger size. We're gonna let her go. Let her have a bunch of babies. Living a great life. Let's keep looking. You know. Wow, she's pretty cool though. She kind of bowed up on us. Hi, little lady. She's young. She's a juvenile. She just got done molting. Let's leave her alone. Let's see what other adventures we can find. Asks and answer, baby. I see it. Chat, do you see it? He might be big enough. It might not be. So what you're going to do is the crab's right there. Take your claw, put it behind it, give it a lift. If that's a male, he's worth measuring. Is she a female? You can tell by the abdomen. Fat abdomen, female. And this girl lost a fight or two. She ain't got no pinchers left. And what happens occasionally is because they're female, people will come out and they'll just take the claws because the claws grow back. And this is a horrible habit. We're going to put her back. We don't want to stress her out. But you can see somebody came through, and I don't know that to be true. She might have just lost them in a fight. But I know a lot where I live. A lot of people, unfortunately, just take the claws. they'll leave the female and she'll grow new claws. So I'm not saying she won't, but she needs them to live, and it's a problem. It's a problem in the community I live. A lot of people just break the claws off and throw the crab back. Got another one here. Man, this pool is loaded. Loaded with the wrong kind. Here's another female. You can tell by the this area. A male has a similar appendix, but it's a lot narrower. It looks more male, if that makes sense. This is wider, makes it a more female approach. This girl is doing good. She's got a barnacle on her. Barnacle means she's a little bit older. She's got both of her claws still intact. Let's get her back. Let's keep working this tide pool. Let's see if we can't find a male. Man, this has turned out to be a pretty good hole. We've got, well, it depends. If you're just out here looking for crabs for fun, this has been a pretty good hole. But I'm trying to find a keeper, and a keeper, see all this foam? And you're like, ew, what is that? This foam is actually diatoms, which is a form of algae caused by healthy algae in the water. This is actually a really good sign of a healthy ecosystem when you're out on the coast. If you were to see that in fresh water, it'd be a little off-putting. But here on the coast, diatoms mean food. Food for razor clams, oysters, and various other things. There's a little stream here. Feeds into a much, much larger tide pool. Man, if it was the right kind of season, these right here are dead giveaways. Razor clam, razor clam, razor clam. I mean, everywhere. All of these holes are razor clams. If you don't know what a razor clam is, you can go check out the channel. Lots of razor clam information. But do it later or never. It don't matter. I appreciate everybody hanging out with me. This is kind of a deeper hole here. This kind of opens up. It's not real wide, but this is about the perfect size. We're a little bit away, maybe 100 yards from the ocean. This is the kind of area I like. Getting a little further from our transportation, but that's all right. Somebody's been out here on an e-bike other than me. We're very remote. The only way to get out here is either you walk a few miles from the approaches, or you can get yourself an e-bike and ride out here. A little bit of chop on the water. Wind's starting to kick up. Hopefully my audio's okay. I do have the wireless, but as that wind picks up, you're going to get a little bit of chop. In some of these deeper holes, and I mean, we're not real deep, we got waders on. Only way to do this, well, if it's summertime and 80 degrees, sure, you can come out here in your shorts and you're like, Unc, it is summertime. Yeah, summertime here in the Pacific Northwest is a little different vibe. The water temp barely gets to 60, never gets to 60, period. And the outside temp is about the same. So, but I guess if you're built different, you can come out here in shorts and wait around. A lot of times these tide pools aren't real deep, maybe 4 or 5 feet. But sometimes, just sometimes, they get more, 8, 9 feet. It really depends. We're having really low tides at the moment. Ooh, there's some stuff over there, and I don't know what it is, but it looks fun. I think it'll be worth an adventure, but one thing at a time. There's a couple people out here doing what I'm doing, but it's not very common. Not a lot of people. This is kind of like a local secret, right? If you're not from the area, you probably wouldn't think to go out and rake a tide pool in hopes of finding Dungeness crabs. It's not a very common thing. Lots of people use traps. Lots of people snare them with fishing poles. But this is kind of a unique and fun. To be honest with you, I'm having a hell of a great time. Seeing what we can't find. Our bike clear down there. We'll go get it. We'll move down. There's a couple old timers coming through. What I'm gonna do is just work this bank all the way back down out by the ocean. We'll cut across and we'll start heading back towards the bike. See if we can't find a little different spot. A little bit deeper here than I was expecting. So what y'all don't see is I'm dragging this claw behind me. And what I'll do is I'll just walk. And then if I feel it hit something, it gives me an incentive to, it's just luck, to be honest with you. Just dragging it behind me. And sometimes you get lucky and find a crab. There's something out here in the ocean I want to look at. Oof, stumbling. Gotta be careful in these tide pools. You go from 3 feet to 6 inches pretty deep. We'll head back to that tide pool in a second. Well, there's something out here in the surf. Looks like a bunch of ropes. Maybe some crabbing gear. Who knows? Maybe there's a pot still on it. Might just be a giant ball of kelp. It's right there centered. A couple old timers walking up on me. I don't really want to talk to them. So we're gonna head back to the bike. But first I want to check out whatever this is. Rope. Crab rope. Bunch of rope. You're like, bro, polluting the ocean is terrible. I agree. But that thing is stuck in so much sand. This is probably just an old crab line, to be honest. Crabbing boats. Yeah, good luck. It's so buried. I hate seeing crap like this on the beach because it's a big cluster. We got commercial crabbers off the coast, and unfortunately they just lose gear, lost crab gear. Let's start working our way back towards the bike. There's a little tide pool here. We'll see if we can't find any more. We'll check on our crab on our bucket. And then we'll start heading north. North, south, I don't know. Onward and upward. Our bike's probably 100 yards that way. We're gonna work this little tide pool here. Haven't worked it yet, but eventually we'll head back to the bike. And I think we're just gonna go straight to the bike, head north. We've already worked this hole. We haven't worked this bank though. There's an old guy. I gotta be careful who I call old, because one day I woke up and turns out I'm old as shit, man. Oh, we got something. I see it. Do y'all see it? I see it. I see it. I see it. What do we got? Bloop. We got a big old female crab. She's pretty, but that ain't what we looking for. Back you go, little gal. She's gonna go out, she's gonna make a lot of babies. That's probably female crab number 15. I do think I've worked part of this hole, and I'm gonna move onward to bigger things. I'm trying to avoid people because, well, I'm just antisocial. You know, it's funny, like 90% of the year, nobody's here. You could just come to this beach, scream up to the, you're like, oh, there's only like 2 people as far as the eye can see. And my response to that is like, that's too many, bro. Like, and here's the problem, they're all old local guys like me, and we're all out here trying to compete for the 16 crabs. I think I should give my crab to an old person. What are you talking about? You are an old person. Right? And I think yeah, see that guy out there? He's doing the same thing I'm doing. He's just in shorts. I should give him. I got one. I don't feel like necessarily sharing with the elderly community. I am the elderly community. We need to head north. That's what we need to do. We need to check on my crab. Head north. Guys, like conversation. Don't make eye contact. Hey, have you guys been hanging out for a minute and haven't seen a man crab? I'll show you. This is our mode of transportation. Can't drive a car up here. Too old to walk. So no sponsorship, no brand deal. Custom modification, fishing rod holder, bucket, live Dungeness crab. Look at this guy. Boom. And how you can tell he's a male is this. Appendix, male. But in Washington, they have to be 6 inches across. So, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your handy little tape. You're gonna measure point for point, from that point to the outer point, and this dude is actually, oh, I don't know, 7'5". So he's an inch above the keeper limit, but we're gonna get him back into his little water. You gotta keep them alive. If you cook them after they're deceased, it's not a good look. But we're gonna put his seatbelt on. Gravity just kind of keeps them on my little, this is my little fishing rod holder, just plastic pipe. This is just a climbing clip around the handle. Kind of helps it from just falling off. Sorry about that. Let's head north. We got too many old people here competing for the same sources. Let's crank the bike up to 5 and ride until we find less people. And those are the only 2 people in sight. So if we head up, we're talking too much. It's time to shut up and drive. Go west, young man. Sorry, I've already sang that. We've already covered this, and we've already covered the next one. We're getting further up. Right over to our right is the last place people can walk onto, like the last trail. So anything further from here on up is going to require an e-bike or a hell of a hike. So we're scouting virgin territory, which is great. There's a pretty cool lighthouse building. I don't know if we'll have time to get to that today or not. We might end up there. We're just looking for solid tide pools with signs of crab. We got maybe an hour worth of dig time left. So we're trying to cover as much ground as possible. Somebody's already been doing what we're doing with their bike, which is uncommon. We might get out and look, might rake around, seeing if we can't find something that they missed. But like I said, I want to cover a little bit of ground because we're running out of time. Now, I want to walk this area. I'm being lazy. A lot of times guys will just try to spot them off their bike, and it works fine, but it's not the same. It works a lot better if you set up. If you're just getting here, this is what we're doing. Dungeness crabs in the Pacific Northwest. Got a rake. It's still low tide, but only for about another hour or so. We have found, I think, 6 females, 1 male keeper. And if we're looking for a limit, the limit where I'm at is currently 6. You can get 6 crabs off the beach per day, as long as they meet the legal requirements. This is kind of, well, I think we're just going to work these holes. We're going to move pretty quick through this area, though. I know somebody's already been through here on a bike, spotting. So we're going to... This area looks like it's been worked over pretty well. We're going to head back onto the bike. Talk about being late to the party. We're gonna head a little bit further. That's all we can do. We're running out of time. We're about halfway to the lighthouse. There's a tide is starting to come in pretty quick though. I don't even think we're gonna fully get on. I think we're just gonna side saddle it like a lady. Cruising now. Here's the thing, that tide's moving in quick. I'm only gonna have maybe a good hour, not even, to really explore these tide pools. Gonna have to go home and rinse off the bike really well. Alright, this looks like a decent spot here. Not as virgin ground as I would have liked. Something fishing, do a wheelie. Man, I was just standing on the pedal. Oh, this is what we caught. I mean, that's a big old 6-inch delicious male Dungeness crab. We got one in the barrel. Limit is 6. So, I mean, that's what we're here. That's what we're looking for. And they live in little areas just like this. Sorry, I try to keep you guys a little still. Here's the thing, you never know. We're pretty far up the beach now. But you can find, they're kind of like mushroom hunting, right? You just kind of find it where you find it. Here, which is kind of unusual. So I'm just gonna go ahead and rake out this little hole. Gonna work that bank. We're starting to get a little pressed for time, so I don't want to spend. I'd rather cover more ground than thoroughly work one big hole. But we're officially in the middle of nowhere. See that building right there? That's, everybody calls it the lighthouse building because it looks like a lighthouse. We might end up there. Probably not. But I mean, as you can see, nobody around for miles. I think we're kind of off the main channel. The main channel is just over there. The thing about crabs is they could be anywhere. Any tide pool, anywhere. So what I'm gonna do is work this particular tide pool. The claw, I'm gonna drag behind. If I find a deeper spot like this, what I'll do is I'll drag the bank, just the edge of the bank from where it goes from fast to slow. And a lot of times you'll pick them up just right there. What I'm wondering is, did anybody in chat happen to bring any snacks? The thing is, if you're going out to catch your breakfast, you start your day hungry, right? Got something here. I know what it is. It ain't nothing exciting. But if you haven't seen it before, could be. Anybody know what this is? Any guesses? This is a Washington State razor clam. They're delicious. I've caught them live tons of times. If you want to go check those out, don't. Just stay here and watch what I'm doing now. But Washington State razor clam. Pretty cool. That's just the shell anyways. And if you want to know where they live, I'll show you. That little hole, right there at the end of the rake, right there, those are clam holes. If I were to dig a circle around that hole right there, I would pull out a razor clam. Very similar to exactly like the one I just showed you guys, but alive and full of chewy deliciousness. Now, see, once it starts getting wider, it's probably 50 feet. What I do is I'll walk the edge, see what I can see, get to the end, and then turn around and do the other edge. On a larger tide pool, where it's deep enough to where I can't touch in the middle, sometimes I'll throw a little trap out there and let it sit. This is kind of cool. If you don't live here, I guess you don't know. But these are sand dollars. And they're just little, I don't know, mollusks, I guess. This one is no longer alive, but these are sand dollars. They're pretty. We'll leave it there. Let's start covering some ground. We're gonna rapidly running out of time. Oof. Got some deep water there. We're just dragging our claw behind us, hoping to get lucky. A lot of times you could take and just rake out the whole hole, and there's a good chance you're gonna find more crabs. But what I like to do, I found something there. I hear it scraping on my rake. I like to just drag it behind me. And you're not trying to dig trenches, you're just trying to lightly drag it. Those crabs are only typically a few. Okay, that's what I was hitting. Whatever this is. Well, it's not very exciting, but a lot of times you'll just drag your rake along and you'll feel it tink, and a lot of times it's a crab. Sometimes you get lucky. So while I'm looking, I like to drag the rake behind me. Here, crabby. Got something here. It looks like it's just a piece of, I don't know what that is, kelp? Yeah. Any vegans? Vegans in the comments section? This stuff actually is perfect. A lot of people eat it. I don't, but a lot of people do. A lot of people make it into, they grind it down and use it for fertilizer as well. It is edible if you're so inclined. Some kind of shell there. What the shell? I think we're a little late. This is crab's natural enemies. I mean, somebody's already been through this hole. Which means we need to go north. Eventually, right now we're on a little peninsula. Ocean is right there. Over that way, in about 2 miles, is a bay, which is also kind of the ocean. And we are on a 3-mile stretch on the gotta be careful in these little tide pools. I'm gonna throw my back out. Let's head north. Let's keep working. Somebody's been through here already, which isn't very optimistic for me. Kind of like to. Here's the thing: people miss, right? If they were just riding through and they didn't check, they didn't rake, they'd miss it. So we're gonna drag a rake. It's pretty deep through here and see what we can't find. Man, we gotta take a little break and walk back to the bike. I'm gonna at this for a little bit. I found a couple crabs. Sorry about that wind. I'm doing the best I can. But this time of year, got a lot of competition. A lot of old fellas like myself looking to do the same thing I'm doing. Don't you guys want to do a drip check? Bro, what do you guys think of the new neoprenes? Neoprenes are just waders. Keeps them dry when doing wet stuff, such as fishing in the ocean or raking around in these tide pools. Yeah, beautiful Saturday. Mild breeze of around 15, 20. Coming out of the south, it's bad weather coming in. But it's not pouring down rain, so it's a good day. I'll be honest with you, drags. You know, when the best day is, ask me how many days this summer I've had above 70. And the answer is 0. 0 degrees, 0 days above 70 this summer. Which gets tough. But I'm not complaining because I'm having a really great time, to be honest. He's actually sweating. It's probably about 55 degrees out. And sorry for the walk and talk. We're heading back to the bike. If you haven't seen them yet, I'll go ahead and show you the crap I got. Then we'll go north. Head north and get away from people. The last trail where you could walk in on, it's probably a half a mile that way. And I still see people. So let me flip you guys around. We're back at the Noble Steed. This is what we got going on. We got one Dungeness crab in there. Ain't he pretty? 6 inches. Male. And a little bit of water. Try to keep them cool. You gotta keep them alive, because if you don't, you can't cook them. Once they're dead, they'll make you dead. So we're gonna put you guys up here like such. I don't even think we're gonna full mount. I think we're gonna side saddle this. Let's head down to the beach. Plane bound nowhere, met up with the gambler, both too tired to sleep. I mean, we cruising. Sorry for the wind. Honey, we're home. Sorry, kickstand down. Lost a ton of viewers because that audio was crap. But this is what we got. This is what we're looking for. Beautiful, beautiful Dungeness crab. Male. You can tell by this area right here. This looks like a male anatomy. The female is just wider. But this is what we got. This is one keeper, male Dungeness crab, 6 inches in length. And we're just raking these. These are tide pools. We're located here in the Pacific Northwest, Washington coast, more specifically. Shout out to the 360, to the 253, to the 619. If you're from here, you know. If you don't, you better ask somebody. So, I mean, this isn't rocket science what we're doing here. We're just walking around, hoping to spot a crab, find a deep hole that you can't see the bottom, just rake it. You just rake it out. You know, these things about this is you'll go from 2 inches to 2 feet really quick. You gotta be careful because the ground is forever shifting. And we are running out of time. I always like, you're like, ew, what is that? And the answer is diatoms. Diatoms are just a fancy word for algae. And algae is just a fancy word for plant food. Or not plant food, plant food. Plants that a lot of the marine life eat. My kingdom for a cup of coffee. Lots of clam holes, but it's kind of the wrong season for that. Sorry, looking in my pockets for stuff. kind of stuff. Ooh, fish. Hit a fish. I don't know what it was. If it's in this shallow water, it's probably a scrupulus. Might be a little starry flounder. I see him. He's quick. I know my camera, you can't see him because of the chop. We'll leave him alone. A little scrupulous fish. Like an algae eater looking thing. They live in shallow tide pools. Man, this is kind of a dead zone up here. Last spot I was at least raking females. These are kind of fun. Not what we're going for, but kind of cool. Unique. And we got our sleeve all wet. But this is a sand dollar. Kind of neat little ocean activity. Sand dollars, pretty common. This guy looks to be struggling once they start turning white, but better safe than sorry. We'll put him back. Nah, he's deader than a doornail, but that's all right. We'll leave him for someone else to enjoy. Let's see if we can't find a crab, though. I mean, we're in the right area. All these tide pools are just possibilities. Razor clam. It's a razor clam shell. Those aren't all that exciting. Hey, shout out to you. Hope everybody's having a great Saturday. Doing something a little different. Looking for Dungeness crabs inside a tide pool. Found one. Beginner's luck. First 5 minutes. It's been kind of slow. I think if we're counting crab bodies, I got one keeper and I don't know, probably a dozen females. Which is exactly the opposite, right? Like, if I was at the bar and there was a dozen females for every one male, I would first check to see if I was still alive. And second, I guess we're gonna keep walking. We're gonna cruise a little faster. Starting to run out of time, unfortunately. Tide's starting to push in. So we're gonna increase our walking speed, cover some more distance. We might head back to the bike. Somebody's already been through here on the bike, which is those dirty dogs, you know, trying to steal my idea. But we're pretty remote. I mean, take a look around. That's the ocean. That building right above my head is a little lighthouse. And everybody calls it a lighthouse, but that's not really what it is. It's a family, rich as hell, and I think they're Russian. Not judging, shout out to Russia. But they bought land out here cheap. I mean, dirt cheap back in the day. And they own everything from the beach I'm standing on now to the other side of the peninsula where I live. They own it all. One big family. Ooh, you've got action. So misleading. This is what I'm kind of looking for, though. This is just a shell. It's molted. They didn't die. But this is what I'm looking for. Dungeness crabs, a little bit bigger than that. Scouring the tide pools. Rake in hand, shovel in hand. Just like my ancestors, right? We're coming up at the end of this tide pool. We got nothing. I mean, zero signs. The last one we had at least 5 females. This one is nothing. And I mean, I've moved so far north that oh, this is it. This is kind of the end of the road. I guess we'll start working our way back towards the bike. We'll just keep working this tide pool back. We'll head back to the bike. We'll see where the day takes us from there. Mid-July. I really wish I would have brought my fishing pole with me. Would have been a good day to go out and get some surf perch. I kind of had a hankering. Do people still use that word, hankering? I kind of had a hankering for some crab. I like Dungeness crab, not rock crab, not hermit crab, but delicious Dungeness crab. And we got one. Let's get back to the bike. I'm pretty gassed. We covered about, 10 to 15 miles of beach. Now, given a lot of that was by bike, but we're tired. We're getting old, boys. Part of my brain tells me I'm 20 years old, can hike 30 miles, but we already put in about 5 before breakfast, and I'm getting pretty hungry. I think I'm going to head back to the bike. I'll show you guys what I caught, and go ahead and wrap this live up. Appreciate everybody taking the time to rock with me. I really enjoy this. If you're new here and you guys like lives, if you guys like camping, if you guys like fishing, if you like just being outside, check out the channel. I'm not going to ask you to subscribe. Just check it out and see what I'm about. And I could be your favorite outdoor channel of 2026. I don't do stupid challenges. I don't do gimmicky videos. My goal is to bring back the 2016 era of YouTube, where there's just a dude, camera, doing something cool, having a good time, not trying to sell you memberships, not begging for stickers or super chats or donos. No, I don't care about none of all that, bro. I'm just here to have a good time, share my hobby with the world, and hopefully y'all want to be here for that as well. And I know you're like, this dude has blown out audio, and I do. My wireless mic took a dive on me, and nobody cares about that. It's just do better, right? But we back at the bike. Let me show you what I got. Here he is, breakfast. Beautiful Dungeness crab, freshly caught. Hey, this has been Outdoors with Unc, YouTube's first ever live Dungeness catch crab. Thanks for being part of it. Go outside. We'll catch you guys on the next adventure. Peace.